It must make you mad that all this bad stuff that you see on TV and all the news and all this stuff. But how does it phase us? How's it ever going to change if you didn't put the obligations up there in the first place? How did all the immigrants get over here if you don't have security to keeping our lives safe? What if they run into our towns and steal our children and all this other stuff? You already have the security with police that do it if regular gangsters do that stuff and do all this bad stuff. So what do you mean you don't have security to stop these immigrants? You already have the security to stop Bloods and Crips from poisoning and killing each other, and then you want the guns off the shelf. Well, when were you going to finally do that? People have been dying since the 90s with gunshots, and you didn't take them off the shelves then when people were making complaints to Bush and Clinton. You weren't doing anything then during their elections. Oh, yeah, should I hashtag and bring up old effects about 9/11? Wasn't that caused by bombs and all the stuff that you got out there that you never defeated and investigated on any of that stuff? Well, if they came from another country, that makes them immigrants. You didn't have these problems and set up to fix back in the 90s. How do we know all that stuff hasn't been already fixed and you're just lying your butt off to everything else? And now that it's shown on video that all you people have been lying about everything, now you're stuck in a jam that you created and we don't have to help you one bit. You just want the rest of the citizens and people in school. You're trying to pull people out of school to vote when the age is 18 and always been that way for hundreds of years. And now you want illegals from other countries and their families to vote when they don't even have jobs and homes, and you're just not doing the work in here in the States. Now all of a sudden you want to do the right work and right job and offer people all their money back that you've been disturbed and been taken away. It kind of contradicts itself. It doesn't make safety. I've worked my whole life, which you already know that though. So just because you meet me new here on YouTube doesn't mean I have to talk about my personal life and all these web pages. I don't have to feel guilty for not answering your questions. I don't owe you a single thing in your lifetime. I don't pay your bills and you don't pay my bills. So where do you get off ruining my reputation and talking all that bad stuff when you're not my boss? You're not my family. You're not my friends. Who the hell do you think you are, making up all that business and shady stuff and people talking about rumors and all this other stuff behind my back like I wouldn't find out and do investigating in my own style and find out how people talk crap all their life? Yeah, that's been so old. That's been around since the 90s too. What else is new? And then you cover it up and say, oh, it's just rap music. Oh, nobody will know. Nobody cares. Well, that's the same thing when you let the terrorists in our country to start 9/11. Oh, nobody knows. I don't understand, all that stuff. If you got metal detectors and all this bomb equipment, you got people and soldiers and military that do studies. It's not the fans that need to know what goes on in all the streets and all the court orders and what laws and regulations it are and soldiers training or police training. It's none of your damn business. So why don't you shut up and mind your own business? And if you want an opinion on all that stuff, go get a job doing that stuff and see how you like it, since you want to be a smart mouth community, and see how you like it. How do you like it when people suffer? Is it laughing and funny like it is in the movies? Well, why don't we put you through all that stuff and see how you like it? How do you like not having help? How do you like the streets and where we live not having security? How do you like the teenagers getting ready for the next generation with no promised jobs? How do you like all that stuff? And you're not specially educated. You don't have disabilities keeping you from work. Disabilities is what? They're also brain influences. People can't use their brain because you're complaining people can't read in the system. Well, why aren't you teaching them? You teach the specially educated kids. You do one-on-one sessions. Well, your parents don't care about their own kids and you're making fun of people of faith. You want to sit back and talk all that crap that you've been doing for years on end? This ain't an everyday thing that you don't know all this stuff already. You already knew this was bound to happen, and now you act like we have to be on your side? We have to show you respect? No, respect is earned by the actions you do. And how can we commit the respectful actions if you're not doing your part of the bargain? Why don't you answer those questions for the rest of the public, huh? Why don't you stop disowning us and talking crap? Because it can go on record. I don't have to give my name out to the fans. I don't have to give my name out to the neighbors. It's none of your business. That's a tough luck. That's tough love. What, you didn't grow up with tough love? You certainly gave me tough love for 40 years. Had no problem disconcluding me from your parties, your ceremonies, your jobs, and all your efforts and all your public events. You certainly had no problem disconnecting me from all these conversations, but it's all fun and games until now all of a sudden everybody's screaming, oh my gosh, we don't have fair rights out here. Well, you just realized that? It took you a whole 40 years to learn all that stuff? That you already didn't have an equal society that's already been around? It's kind of hilarious. I'm laughing about all this once I turn all this off, because it's kind of funny how I'm already past all that stuff. I don't have problems with other people that are having all these problems in life. They got flaws too. What? You weren't born yesterday. That's right. You remembered that because you tried to use it when you talk to all those women or talk to all those men and to try to defend your own cases behind our back and using each other's phone numbers. Well, I'm not going to buy another phone from your companies. Why? So you can track me down and kill me? So you could take away all the girls I talk to, so you can lie to all the homies I talk to, so you can spread bad messages of hate speech. Isn't that a crime that they recently come out with? But you want to sit in your vehicles and pass by all the time and say, oh, he's an asshole. I got a beard on me, so you call me a bum. Or I'm sitting in my yard every single time, and don't you say, well, why don't you go out there and get a fucking job? Why don't you shut up? Why don't you come over and talk if you got so much beef to say stuff behind my back, society? Why don't you come over and make a simple conversation? Why don't we work things out right now? If you want to settle things and you want to take my life, for what reason? I don't owe you any money. I'm not here to have to protect your family from how hard life is. They should have taught you that when you were growing up. You should have grew up with responsibility and learned the differences between relationships, friendships, and the bad people that are out there in the planet. You should have been grown up to all this. Go ahead and put all this conversation all over your web pages. Spread it all around and find out that the society that's in power and control of everything ain't really got crap to bargain with and hold leverage over my head. Certainly didn't peer pressure me into having to not say no to doing bad things. I certainly didn't have to any losses. It seems like I know what I'm doing, and that's why everybody's fussing and complaining and moaning and groaning about their own lifestyles in their own generation, passing it down to my generation, saying, oh, hey, look at what you're doing. You're doing nothing but despicable bad things. Yet, well, we had to learn it from somewhere. It had to come from somewhere. It wasn't born yesterday. Neither were you, and neither was I. So it's kind of none of us are getting anywhere. And you keep talking crap about me being a person of faith, but I didn't spit a single verse name from scriptures, and I'm not wearing a single cross around my neck. Go ahead and look at it. Take your pictures while you're at it. You don't see any of that evidence, so you're just making up things as you go along? Is that how you run your businesses and pay us our paychecks, by just making up things? Do you owners of all these buildings and businesses have college degrees? Or did you just get handed down money from your family from the previous generation, so you decided to build businesses? Do you even have management degrees? Do you have documentations of all this stuff that you're working? You have photographic proof of me doing bad deeds out here on the planet, that you disconclude me from your society and making friends? Do all these people, my neighbors over here, do you got any photographic evidence of me doing all those commitments? It's kind of hard to do that when everybody's broke. Everybody, all 500 million people are not paid an equal amount of paychecks to be taking care of all these hundreds worth of doing expectations. It's kind of hard when people are starting to put it in their music. You hear it in sad songs all the damn time, but somehow you find inspiration in our lives being deprived and destroyed. How do you find luck and favor and love in any of that crap? Do you see how it's kind of hard for me to hold back myself? Because I already am. I'm holding back from you people. I could say a lot more worse things than what I've been saying in this video. I could say a thing or two being from rap. You know, I came from rock, really, but I started with rap because they don't have any apps for rock roll music. They don't have the technology, but yet we're all supposed to be smart and taking calculus and psychology and cosmetology and mechanics and all this smart technology stuff. It's kind of hard to do that when 90% of the people can't understand the stuff that you want us to do, and only 50% of the public are actually awarded for the deeds and doing the jobs because they actually studied instead of party 24/7, which is what I did. I didn't party 24/7. I had crap to do, and I couldn't come home with attitudes. I get my butt whooped and kicked out of the house if I pulled half this crap like what's in Chicago and all over the states and all over the videos of being bad and jumping people and being in gangs. My family would kill me. You crazy? You out your darn mind. You need to seek therapy. You want to talk about it? You want to talk about me behind your back? Same with my ex's class. All you people want to talk all this crap, but you don't want to face me and tell me anything. Why is that, huh? What's the matter? You can't tell me to your face how you really feel about life and what you're going through? Don't you want to make conversation with anybody? You just want everybody to be alone because you're jealous of people in whatever direction they're doing? You make no sense. You're not thinking with your brain, and your malfunctioning is constantly put down. Education does matter. The system is not corrupt because it's run by people. It's not run by machines and computers. It doesn't have technical error. Oh, we got an error on the moment. We got something bad. Maybe we should talk about the Buddhists out there that are worshiping statues, giving them advice. It's a statue. What good can it do? It can't move. It's made out of metal or marble or the stuff that statues are built out of, like cement. It's going to sit there and tell you it's okay to kill people and banish people and disregard people and discriminate against people. Is that where you're learning all this stuff from? Because all religion is religion. It's just faith anyway, so you're disregarded too, just as much as you disrespect the supposed Christians. It's kind of hilarious, isn't it? Wait till they find out and hear all this crap that's already going on in life. Already going on, like I said in my key words. Did I say any F words? Oh, I'm sorry. It's okay. Our lives are just deprived for no reason. We spend all of our time working, and it doesn't mean a darn thing to any women out there. You don't want people to cheat on you, but then you run around and cheat on everybody else. So what do we have to look up for? Can you tell us, please? Because I don't see anything in the past 13 minutes worth looking up to and worth going through for anybody else in society. Doesn't make any sense to put my children through any of this just because everybody else is doing it. That's not being a leader. That's not showing responsibility. That's not being a man. Is that? Does that sound familiar to your generation? Are you getting it now? Are you starting to realize what you're doing wrong? Because you've been doing it the whole time, and here we've been telling you and being patient with you the whole time and just looking over things like, it's fine. People make mistakes. Well, guess what? People don't make mistakes. They're doing it on purpose just because you say people make mistakes. You think I'm stupid? You think I'm dumb just because I have a disability? Are you mentally more retarded than half of society already is because of your stupidity? Do you hear yourselves out there in the world? Do you know how much damage you're doing to each other? And you wonder why I don't want to be a part of that stuff? Or anybody else shouldn't have to be a part of that stuff? Are you realizing it now? If you weren't realizing it last year, you weren't having the same mottos you had last year,